Our top story tonight concerns a tragic accident at the John Fernandez Limited Port Facility in Georgetown, where a foreman lost his life. The Ministry of Labor has initiated an investigation into the incident. We'll delve into the preliminary findings and the broader implications for workplace safety. In legal news, Chief Justice Roxanne George dismissed a challenge against the extension of Clifton Hickens' term as Acting Commissioner of Police in Guyana. We'll explore the legal arguments presented, the Chief Justice's ruling, and what this means for the leadership of the Guyana Police Force. Turning to environmental concerns, the Guyana Hydrometeorological Office has issued a special advisory about a thick plume of Sahara dust expected to affect the country. We'll discuss the potential health implications for vulnerable groups and the precautions recommended by the Environmental Protection Agency. In economic development news, President Irfan Ali announced plans to repurpose the deserted Enmore sugar estate into a state-of-the-art sugar refinery. We'll examine the potential impact on the economy and the local community. Finally, we report on widespread protests by farmers across Europe against falling sale prices, cheap imports, and environmental regulations. The European Union's proposal to scrap rules on pesticides as a concession to the agricultural sector has sparked debate. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for February 7, 2024. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the Ministry of Labor has initiated an investigation into the fatal incident at the John Fernandez Limited Port Facility in Georgetown on Tuesday. The accident, which occurred early in the morning, resulted in the death of 64-year-old Trevor Jones, a stevedore foreman. Initial reports indicate that Jones was struck by a reversing super-reach stalker, leading to the fatal injuries. He was struck by the counterweight at the rear of the vehicle, at which point he fell to the side and was fatally injured by the rear wheel of the vehicle. Occupational safety and health officers swiftly responded to conduct a preliminary investigation at the scene. Unfortunately, Jones was pronounced dead at the scene. Minister of Labor Joseph Hamilton has expressed deep concerns over workplace accidents, emphasizing the importance of ensuring worker safety. Ongoing investigations by the Occupational Safety and Health Department aims to uncover further details surrounding the incident. In legal news, on Tuesday, Chief Justice Roxanne George SC dismissed a legal challenge filed by Carol Jones against the extension of Clifton Hickens' term as Acting Commissioner of Police in Guyana. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has extended Hickens' tenure following his 55th birthday, acting on the recommendations of the Police Service Commission. Joseph's argument contended that only a substantive commissioner's tenure could be extended, not an acting one. However, the Chief Justice ruled that the Constitution allows for the extension of both substantive and acting appointments. The court referenced a previous case validating Hickens' acting appointment and dismissed the claim that the president needed to consult with the opposition leader. The ruling emphasized the necessity to avoid a vacuum in the position of Commissioner of Police. Attorney General Anil Nandlal defended the extension, stating no evidence challenged the president's compliance with constitutional provisions. Dexter Smart represented Joseph, while the Attorney General appeared alongside other state counsel. Moving on, with the industrial action on its third day, teachers across various regions of Guyana have intensified their strike action, rejecting claims that the protest was politically motivated and emphasizing their demands for better wages and working conditions. Led by the Ghana Teachers Union, educators have taken to the streets in regions across the country, advocating for their rights and livelihoods. Issues highlighted include inadequate gratuity calculations upon retirement, promotion challenges despite qualifications, and poor working conditions, such as the poor state of school toilet facilities. Teachers emphasize that their protest is not about politics, but addressing long-standing injustices and neglect from the Ministry of Education. Despite facing accusations and challenges, the protest continues to garner support from civil society members who support the teachers' cause. Stick around when we return. Enmore Sugar Estate to undergo transformation into a refinery, President announces, and Sahara dust plume expected to affect Guyana.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for doing surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Speak clearly with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common Smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. The Enmore Sugar Estate on the east coast of the Sahara closed its doors to its operations officially in 2018, placing hundreds of Guyanese on the breadline. Nonetheless, there is promising news ahead. President Irfan Ali revealed plans to repurpose the deserted Enmore estate into a state-of-the-art sugar refinery at the Private Sector Commission's annual corporate dinner on Monday evening at the Marriott Hotel. He noted that there is an investor who is in the final stage of an investment decision.
We have an investor who is in the final stage of an investment decision soon to convert the Enmore Sugar Estate that is now scrapped into a sugar refinery to refine the brown sugar there.
The refinery is expected to refine 180,000 metric tons of sugar annually, potentially leading to increased imports to meet demands. The private sector's active involvement is anticipated to drive progress, particularly in transportation and logistics services, to support the refinery's operations.
Whatever we can supply, we'll supply. Then we'll have to fill the gap. So refining would occur there. Hundreds of upskill jobs will be created there. More opportunities for transport and logistics again to fuel and that refinery.
President Ali said this move would create hundreds of jobs in the revived sugar industry. In other news, on Tuesday, the Guyana Hydrometeorological Office sent a special advisory about a thick plume of Sahara dust that is expected to move into Guyana from late Wednesday to early Thursday. The EPA advises that particles in the Sahara dust could cause a dry cough, runny nose, sore throat, itchy or watery eyes, sneezing, etc. Children and elderly and persons with underlying respiratory or cardiovascular illnesses are most vulnerable. A moderate concentration of the Sahara dust has been present in the atmosphere since late January. Persons sensitive to changes in the air quality are still advised to take the necessary precautions. As a preventative measure, the public is urged to limit outdoor activities and, when possible, wear suitable dust masks to minimize exposure. The EPA assures the public that updates will be provided when the air quality returns to normal and falls within acceptable parameter ranges. Moving on, police in Regional Division 1 are investigating the death of Uton George, also known as Blacker, a 27-year-old pork knocker from Big Creek Back Dam, Northwest District. George was found with a stab wound to his chest at his home on Monday, leading to his death at the scene of the incident. A 22-year-old suspect, also from Big Creek Back Dam, has been arrested in connection with the incident. Investigations revealed that the victim and the suspect were acquainted and had been drinking together before the altercation occurred. The suspect has confessed to the crime, leading to the recovery of the suspected murder weapon. George's body awaits a post-mortem examination at the Port Kaituman District Hospital. Don't go away after the break. Anger over rising costs, farmers' protests spreading across Europe, and military are seen as main influencers in Pakistan's elections, not the political parties.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for doing surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speed Test, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Eterimang, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Emergency crews in Chile are searching for hundreds of people who remain missing following severe wildfires. At least 131 people have died in the fires, which were fanned by winds and dry conditions. President Gabriel Boric says security is being increased after reports of arsonists attempting to light new fires. Al Jazeera's Latin American editor Lucia Newman reports.
Visiting a rural community ravaged by wildfires, Chilean President Gabriel Boric consoled residents, promising aid to thousands of affected families. He also addressed fears of arson amid reports of people trying to deliberately light new fires.
ha designado para cada comuna
We have
un coronel.
appointed a colonel for each county who will be in direct contact with the mayors, who will tell them exactly which area needs special patrolling. We know that improving a sense of security is very necessary to prevent uncivilized behavior of miserable people.
Residents here say they're still in danger after surviving last weekend's wildfire.
Last night we discovered a tree trunk on fire. It didn't catch on fire by itself. It happened right when two strangers were seen roaming the entrance after curfew.
Navy Special Forces are being deployed on land and air on the lookout for arsonists who are suspected of having started a wildfire last Friday that destroyed entire neighborhoods. There's still a lot of questions as to how and why the worst natural disaster in Chile since the 2010 earthquake took place. The government is asking the European Union for assistance because of its expertise in wildfires, especially in highly populated areas. But the people who live here say that there are other things that need to be taken into account. They're referring to an incentive to burn land.
Everyone can see that whatever forest or agricultural land has been ravaged by wildfires, soon after the land is sold for housing projects. First the fire, then the sale of the lots.
I asked the Deputy Interior Minister about the allegation.
For some time there's been a bill in Congress that would declare areas impacted by fires ineligible for building projects. It's unacceptable that there be a perverse incentive for wildfires to benefit private economic interests.
Others are pushing for the government to increase penalties and try arsonists as terrorists. Whatever the cause or the motivation behind these fires, the outcome has been deadly. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Via Alemana, Chile.
Internationally, farmers across Europe are protesting against falling sale prices, cheap imports, and environmental regulations. The European Union has proposed to scrap rules on pesticides as a concession to the agricultural sector. Al Jazeera's Sonia Gallagher reports.
Fire and fury from European farmers. No sign yet of an end to their anger towards their respective governments and the European Union. Across the continent, from Slovakia to Spain, there is deep unhappiness with rising costs, plans to implement green policies, and fears that the market will be flooded with cheap imports from Ukraine after the EU waived quotas and duties on its products after Russia's invasion.
We're demonstrating against Europe, against the common agricultural policy, the bureaucracy, and the countries that are placing products inside the country without health controls. We just can't compete with them.
Farmers across Europe have been shouldering the burden of rising costs of energy, fertilizer and transport. Added to that, governments have been trying to reduce prices for consumers as inflation continues to affect European economies. In Strasbourg, while farmers protested outside the European Parliament, the Climate Commissioner stated his case for the bloc to stick with slashing greenhouse gas emissions.
We are recommending that the 2040 target should be a 90% cut in emissions. So why are we making this recommendation now? Well, at the risk of repeating myself, because the case for climate action is beyond doubt and requires planning in the here and the now.
Words that are unlikely to find a sympathetic ear among farmers facing debt and other price pressures. And with a new EU-wide treaty with South American countries to import more Brazilian and Argentinian beef, many question the environmental impact of such policies and their financial effects. Sonia Gallego, Al Jazeera.
Finally, Pakistan is set to hold general elections this Thursday, but it's not the political parties that are seen as the main influencers, it's the military. The first coup took place in 1958, and since then, the nation has been under military rule. Al Jazeera's Assad Beige reports.
They want to be seen as defenders of the nation. Footage released by the army shows the army chief Asim Munir inspecting positions in Pakistani-administered Kashmir, one of the most militarized zones in the world, a region disputed both by India and Pakistan, two nuclear powers. But it's not the military's role in defending the borders that's under the spotlight. It's their influence in politics. Especially now as Pakistan gets ready to hold its general elections.
I feel it's bound to be a hung parliament, a cocktail of sorts, as ousted Prime Minister Imran Khan seems to have run out of establishment's favour. When I say establishment, it is the military establishment that I'm talking about, or the Pakistan Army, which is the Lord of the Ring.
No Prime Minister in the country's 76-year history has finished a full term in office. All the main political parties have felt the wrath of the military. Current frontrunner Nawaz Sharif was ousted in a military coup when he tried to sack military chief Pervez Musharraf. Zulfikar Bhutto, grandfather of the current Pakistan People's Party head Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, was ousted in a coup and then executed. And former Prime Minister Imran Khan has claimed it is the military that is behind his removal. He is now in jail on corruption charges.
You've seen on a number of occasions in the past that in the months and weeks leading up to the election, the party that the military happens to not be comfortable with tends to suffer before the election.
And it's Imran Khan's PTI that has suffered. Their leader is in prison, the symbol of a cricket bat removed from the ballot paper, and their activists targeted. The first military coup took place in 1958, and since then Pakistan has spent several decades under military rule. The military is big business. They build roads, housing projects, and becoming a general means wealth, status, and influence over how the nation is run. When Imran Khan refused to back Ukraine after Russia's invasion, trying to carve a path of neutrality for Pakistan is when Washington reportedly objected, as was revealed in leaked documents.
What do you think of us? That we are your slaves and that we'll do whatever you ask of us? We are friends of Russia, and we're also friends of the United States. We are friends of China and Europe. We are not part of any alliance.
He was removed in a vote of no confidence, and since then, Pakistan's foreign policy has shifted, aligning itself once again with the US. The outcome of these elections have not yet been decided, but one thing the results will not change is the size, role and influence of the military establishment. Asad Beg, Al Jazeera, Lahore, Pakistan.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.